Last week, like exactly a week ago, a week plus day, my son, who is 18-year-old, joined the military. And this is, as a mom, it's super, super difficult for me because for the first time as a mom, I don't have any control. I don't know where he's at. I don't know what he's doing. I cannot help him. I feel helpless. And because this is so difficult for me, I decided to record a video for you that will help me distract myself from thinking about my son. And the reason I kind of thought about this video is because before my son was born, I faced the most challenging times in my career. I was actually miserable. And today I want to talk about managing up, and I want to share with you several things I learned in my career and why this is so important. So first of all, I believe that managing up is really powerful career skill, and so many women struggle with it. So I want to kind of walk you through several myths and hopefully help you debunk them. So going back more than 18 years ago, before my son was born, I was miserable. As I said, I was miserable at my career. And, I thought that managing up was basically being a pleaser, people pleaser, saying yes all the time and just doing what your boss tells you. And that got me basically to one of the most miserable times in my career. I was unhappy. I did something I didn't like. I didn't feel like there was any sign of career progression for me. I wanted to go into leadership, but I was stuck. I was stuck serving someone else, ambitious, and I didn't feel like I was going anywhere. So what I learned is that you actually need to build a strategic and professional relationship with your manager, and it should be focused on mutual success and mutual benefits, not just the benefits for your manager, but also the benefits for you. And obviously with that manager, I failed to do that. Later in my career, I had different managers. Some, it was easier for me to connect than others. And one of the managers actually was a good person, but very, very different from me. And it was very challenging for me to build strong relationship with. And about a year, I worked on building that trust and relationship. And eventually I got to a point that I learned how to give that manager constructive feedback and also being proactive in addressing different challenges and showing leadership, not just being submissive and waiting for orders or be told what to do. And when I started actually coming up and sharing observations, sharing constructive feedback, I was very scared at first because I thought, how can I go and be telling my manager something that I saw that maybe he will not like what I have to say? How can I give him feedback? But actually being open and sharing that feedback gained a lot of respect for me, for my manager, because he realized that I'm actually coming as someone that can open his eyes to things that maybe he oversees and help him as well. The second thing I wanted to share with you that I used to think, and a lot of women I coach think that too, that good work speaks for itself. So I just thought I have to do a good work and I don't need to do anything else. And eventually, someone will notice me and I will be rewarded, whether it's promotion, more responsibility, a raise, or whatever. Going back over 18 years ago, that didn't really pan out well for me. I was miserable. As I told you, that was one of the toughest times in my career. And I didn't tell my manager what I wanted. I didn't communicate what I needed from him. So he just did what he thought was best for him and not necessarily best for me, and used me. I wasn't proactive. I wasn't coming up with ideas or opportunities. I was just waiting for something to happen. And obviously it didn't happen. Only when that engineering manager position opened up and I took a proactive approach and eventually nominated myself for that position, eventually I got it. It required some intention from my side, not just waiting and hoping that someone will show up. And it happened later on in my career as well. When I took an initiative, when I built trust, collaboration, open communication with my manager, and also was very open about what I wanted, things happened. So don't just assume that if you do a good job, someone will notice it. It can happen, but in most cases, based on my experience, it didn't. The third thing I want to highlight here is that managing up is not just about promotions. So it's not about just, I want a promotion, so I should start, managing up. So there is this kind of myth that only that are super ambitious, that are trying to get to the next level, that are trying to get a promotion, should manage up. But actually, everyone needs to build better work relationship with their manager. It's not just for advancing your career, it's also for your well-being, for being fulfilled and happy with what you do, even if you don't want right now to expand your responsibilities or be promoted. You need to better be aligned with your manager, set expectations, clear with them what the manager expects from you, what you need from them. It helps you reduce the stress regardless of your career goals. And I remember one of the managers that I had was really direct and hard with me. And I was stressed all the time. The reason I was stressed is because it wasn't clear to me what the manager needed and wanted from me. And that really impacted my personal lives. I was consciously stressed. I didn't know what to expect every time we had a one-on-one. I was dreading the one-on-ones with him, actually. I didn't know, okay, what is going to happen today? What kind of complaints will it come with? What have I done wrong this week? It was really stressful, and it impacted me also on my personal life. How was, showing up as a mother, as a wife. So managing up is important for you, also for your well-being, not just for promotion. Think about it, how much better it will be for you if you know what your manager expects from you. And we tend to assume we know, but we don't. So it's better to set expectations with your manager, to be curious, to ask them what they need from you. How do they see you, operating? What do they need more from you? What do they like? What they want to see changed or improved? That will help not just the relationships and eventually can help you progress in your career, but also impact your well-being. The next myth I want to talk about is that it's not just the manager's job to lead and to manage. It's a two-way relationship. I used to think that my manager should drive everything. Eventually, I come up to work, my manager should tell me what to do, and I just follow. It may be true when you're just starting out. Maybe it's like your first job or you're switching to something new and you don't know what you're doing. So maybe at the beginning you need more hand-holding and you need someone to direct you what to do. But as you grow, you don't need to just wait to be told. You need to build a relationship with your manager, to take initiative, to work on the communication with your manager, to come proactively and ask for feedback, to come proactively and ask for what you want, to come proactively with ideas, with thoughts. It's a two-way street. And the more proactive you are, the better relationships and respect you'll gain from your manager. Because when you want more responsibilities, you need to show and prove that you're actually capable. And what's the best way to do that? By identifying areas where you think you can contribute, by coming up with ideas. And your manager may not like all your ideas. Maybe they will disagree with some of your thoughts, but they will see something far more important. They will see initiative. They will see thoughtful approach. They will see proactiveness. And this is sometimes more important than the ideas themselves. And the last thing I want to mention here is that managing up doesn't mean that you never disagree with your manager. Because, going back to what I started with, if you're always trying to please, you will not gain respect and probably you'll be miserable and you'll not get what you wanted. That happened to me, and more than once. I try to please, I try to be a good employee, I try to do what I'm being told. That led to me being miserable and not happy. So over time, you should build respect. You should be willing to have some disagreements. Obviously, you want to do it in a respectful way, but constructive disagreement shows critical thinking and commitment to success, and your manager will appreciate you for that. So even if that feels scary, and I know how it feels because I've been there, and I'm a person that doesn't feel comfortable by nature with conflicts and disagreement. But sometimes those are needed. You have to know how to approach it in a way that will show that you care, that you want to support your manager goals and your company goals, and you share your perspective. It shows how valuable you are and that you have a different perspective. And I remember in one of the meetings with executives, I'm usually a very quiet person. I don't speak much unless I have something to say. And I used to get a lot of feedback from my managers that I need to speak up more. I need to share what I was feeling. And, I remember, one time I came to a meeting and I decided today I am going to speak up, right? Not just for the sake of speaking up, but sharing my perspective. And I did. And, it was different than what others thought. And when I said some of my perspectives and opinions, I started to get appreciation and respect. And I remember one of the executives approached me after the meeting and said, "Hey, I didn't know how valuable you are until you started speaking up." Remember that, coming up with alternative solutions, with different opinions is important. So don't shy away from that. So I guess I wanted to conclude that by saying that managing up is a skill, and it is a skill that you want to start developing. And I created like a short document for you just to summarize everything for you and support you. So reach out to me or download it here, and I hope it will help you start practicing managing up. And it's a skill you need to practice. It doesn't happen overnight. So I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.